My name is Kelly. I'm sitting on the porch steps of my beach house, the ocean whispering rhythmically in the background. My daughter is beside me, her head resting on my shoulder. We're not speaking, but there's a comfort in our silence. It's been a long journey to get to this point, a journey that started with a sharp sting of exclusion. A month ago, I received a postcard in the mail. It was from my father. I recognized his handwriting immediately, a scrawl I hadn't seen in years. The message was simple. Hope the waves are still kind to you. There was no apology, no admission of wrongdoing. But strangely, it didn't hurt like I thought it would. I'd stopped waiting for that kind of love from people who couldn't even love themselves. This realization didn't come overnight. It was a slow process, a culmination of years of feeling like an outsider in my own family. My family is part of the wealthy Harrington clan. My parents, Richard and Elizabeth Harrington, are all about status and appearances. They're the kind of people who throw lavish parties and make sure everyone knows about it. My younger sister, Lily, is their golden child. She's beautiful, charming, and always knows how to say the right thing. I, on the other hand, have always been the odd one out. I remember the day I found out about Lily's engagement party. I'd gone to my parents' house with a card and a small diamond pendant. I was so excited to congratulate her. But when I walked in, the atmosphere was cold. Lily looked at me like I was an unwelcome intruder. My mother, Elizabeth, blinked and said, "That was last week." The whole family was there. It was just a small get-together. As if it was no big deal, as if I was some distant acquaintance they didn't need to inform. I looked at the photos on the wall. Lily was in a beautiful white dress, surrounded by balloons and banners. There was a cake that read, "He put a ring on it." Everyone was there, even my third cousins and my mother's country club friend, who always thought I was too emotional. But not me. I felt my cheeks burn, and the room seemed to drop in temperature. Lily picked at her nails and said, "It was nothing special. No need to make a scene." I left the pendant on the counter and walked out. I didn't slam the door. I didn't cry in the car. I just drove back to my beach house, the one I'd bought with my own money after my husband passed away. It was a place of solace for me, a place where I could be myself. A month after the engagement party, my phone buzzed with a message from my mother. "Beach house free this weekend? Everyone wants a break. Let me know, darling." I stared at the screen for a long time. 3 years ago, I would have jumped at the chance to have them over. I would have cleaned the house from top to bottom, stocked the fridge with their favorite foods, and prepared guest towels. I would have told myself that this was how families bonded. But now I saw the pattern. Their love was conditional. They only reached out when it was convenient for them. I didn't answer right away. I wanted to feel the silence they had so often given me. 3 hours later, I replied, "It was available last month." The whole beach was there. It was a standard weekend. There was no emoji, no warmth. Just a cold reflection of the way they'd treated me. My mother responded almost instantly. "What does that mean?" I didn't reply. I set my phone down and walked outside. The ocean was calm, the waves curling like quiet applause. I realized that my solitude was now a precious thing. That night, I checked the family group chat. It was filled with passive, aggressive messages. "Guess Kelly doesn't care about family. She's changed since she moved to that beach house. Maybe she likes being the black sheep." No one had said a word when I was excluded from the engagement party, but now that I wasn't bending to their will, I was the villain. Lily, of course, stayed silent. She always played the innocent one while letting the others do her dirty work. I'd had enough. I posted my own photo on social media. It was a picture of me on my porch, sunlight on my face, a glass of wine in hand. The caption read, "It's peaceful when you stop begging to be loved the wrong way." It went viral within the family. Within minutes, I had missed calls from my father, Lily, and 2 unknown numbers I knew were relatives. I didn't answer any of them. I was done trying to win their approval. The next morning, I woke up to a voice message from my mother. It was 52 seconds of forced cheer and barely hidden panic. Darling. I think we should talk." Lily's post was silly. "You know how she is." I didn't even know she was going to post that. "Anyway, your father's not feeling well, and the beach air always helps him sleep." Let's not make a big deal out of this. Love you. I replayed it twice. I could hear the desperation beneath the fake warmth. She wasn't sorry. She was scared. Scared that they were losing control over me. I forwarded the message to my lawyer. After my husband's death, he'd helped me put the beach house entirely in my name. He replied within minutes, still secure.
No lo puedes.
No rights of access unless explicitly granted. You're untouchable. I stared at the message for a long time. Untouchable. It didn't mean I was invincible, but it meant I was finally out of their reach. A few days later, I saw their car parked 2 blocks away. It was a black Mercedes, the same one they'd used to take Lily to her engagement party. I could see 2 silhouettes inside, waiting. I didn't go out. I watered the plants in the front yard, sipped my tea, and let the ocean breeze wrap around me. I had no interest in a confrontation. I just wanted to be consistent in my boundaries. At sunset, they finally knocked on the door. I opened it halfway, let it rest against my hip, and folded my arms. My mother smiled, a fake smile that was as cold as ice. We were just in the area. Thought we'd say hello. I tilted my head. 3 hours from your house and just in the area? Her smile cracked. My father cleared his throat. Lily's upset. She says you've been cold. That post of yours really hurt her. I scoffed. The post where I'm sitting alone enjoying my peace? That hurt her? They didn't answer. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. You came here hoping I'd make you feel better about what you've done. I pointed to the window where my daughter was watching us. She's the reason I stopped begging. One day, I want her to know what self-respect looks like. My mother whispered, "Please don't do this." I smiled gently. I'm not doing anything. I'm just not pretending anymore. They sat in the car outside for almost an hour, hoping I'd change my mind. But I didn't. I lit candles in the kitchen, played some soft jazz, and let the house feel like mine again. It wasn't a place haunted by their expectations and guilt anymore. The next day, I received an email from an old family friend, Aunt Martha. She'd seen my post and Lily's engagement photos. Her email was short. Just wanted to say I noticed.
I'm sorry.
I always thought they took advantage of your kindness. You deserved better. I hope you find peace and stay there. Those words hit me hard. For the first time in years, I felt seen. Later that night, I posted another photo. The beach was behind me, and my daughter was laughing in the background. There was no caption. Just a moment of pure peace. Within an hour, the comments started pouring in from extended relatives. I had no idea you were left out of the engagement. That's awful. You always added so much class to family events. Their loss. These comments chipped away at the lies my family had told me for so long, that I was forgettable, replaceable. By the weekend, the family group chat was filled with more messages. Family means forgiveness. You're being too harsh. Kelly, your behavior is selfish. You're making this all about you. Lily added, so dramatic. You weren't really excluded. You just weren't needed. I stared at the screen, not bothered by what they said, but by how familiar it all felt. It was the same old script of guilt, tripping, and gaslighting. But I'd burned that script weeks ago. I screenshotted the messages and archived them. I wasn't collecting evidence. I was collecting clarity. That night, I called my lawyer. The beach house, though bought with my money, was still technically part of my father's old trust. I asked him to start the process of finalizing the ownership in my name quietly. 2 weeks later, the title arrived in the mail. I framed it, not out of pride, but as a reminder that peace is something you fight for. I printed a second copy and mailed it to my parents with no note. My daughter watched me seal the envelope. Will they be mad?
She asked.
I knelt down and kissed her forehead. Probably, but mad means they noticed. And noticing is the first step to change. She nodded. Will they change? I smiled. That part's not up to us. As I sit here on the porch with my daughter, I look out at the ocean. The waves are gentle, and the sound is soothing. I've packed away the last box of what-ifs, the ones that wondered if they'd ever include me, the ones that hoped for the love that never came. Now, the laughter in this beach house is real. It's ours. And when the doorbell rings, it's because someone truly wants to be here. This is my new normal, and I wouldn't have it any other way.